Welcome back, besties, to another episode of Besties and Books. I'm Ellen, this is Sarah, and today I am so excited because we are doing our monthly reading wrap up. And pretty sure I said this last month, but this month it is literally our biggest wrap up yet. We have 7 books to wrap up this month, and we only chose 4, and somehow we managed to read
We just
7.
went a little
Go
bit rogue.
us!
Yep.
Yes. So super excited to dive in. And before we do, don't forget, besties, that if you're loving our content, to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our future videos. What have we read first?
Okay. First up, we will get stuck into Binding 13, which was one of the 4 books we picked last month. We did go a little bit rogue and we have read Binding 13 and then the sequel, Keeping 13, both by Chloe Walsh. We did, for both of these, a full video log of them with spoilers. So if you are interested, go and check them out. We're not going to be revealing any spoilers today in talking through Binding 13 and Keeping 13. So just a quick recap. Shani and Jonan are our 2 main characters.
Sorry, I just thought you might just want to correct that for a second because you said Shani and Johnny. Oh no, you said Shani and Jonan. So I was like, I think you mean Shannon and Johnny.
Like I'm the pregnant one. Good pick up. All right, quick recap. Shannon and Johnny are our 2 main characters. Shannon is a 15-year-old girl who has been severely bullied her entire life at school and then also at home. She's subject to some fairly horrific abuse. She sort of starts off a very shy character. She's quiet. She just wants to be completely invisible. She transfers to a private school called Tommen for a new beginning, and there she meets Johnny. So he's like the typical football jock. He is the star of the football team. He's confident. He's ambitious. Nothing is going to get in his way. Of course, Shannon and Johnny come together. They connect very slowly. She is, as I said, very shy, but he is intrigued and he just cannot keep away from her. And slowly he, chips away at the barriers she's put up. So this book 1 and 2, both books are about this couple. They were just such an emotional ride. It was the suspense was there, the tension was there. We have like first love, found family, beautiful friendships, some very hilarious side characters. Like I laughed out loud many times reading both of these books. It was such a joyful read, even though it really does cover a lot of full-on topics. Like there's some, as I said, some trauma in the house. There's a physical and emotional abuse. There's sort of, those teenage expectations that everyone faces in young adult phase of life.
It was such a throwback to high school, hey?
Absolutely. What was your take on it? Even though
I
know what you thought of it.
I know. So we know roughly what each other thought because we did the spoiler reading vlog. So this is the only review where we sort of know what each other's thoughts are. But in saying that, this was one of my most anticipated reads, probably of the year. And for once, it did not disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed. Loved it. Everything that Sarah said, I could not agree more. I loved Shannon and Johnny, and I loved the side characters. Side characters, when they are bang on, it can make a book a 4-star to a 5-star. Like they were just so good. I loved the banter. I loved the humor. I loved the dark themes, even though they are quite dark. So perhaps check your triggers before going into these books because they are a heavy read. Don't go into this expecting a light and fluffy romance. They're big books, but I had no idea. I just binged it so fast. It did not matter. I wasn't bored for a single moment.
Very easy reading.
Oh, it was so good. I would recommend this series to anyone and everyone, honestly. It's just been one of my favorite reads and I cannot wait to continue with the series. So Sarah and I will continue our vlogging journey and we will be vlogging Saving Six and then the book after that. I can't remember the name of it, but we will be vlogging the entire Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh and I'm so excited.
Good. And if you enjoyed book 1, you will have to read book 2 because it ends on a huge cliffhanger.
Yes. And I
That's what happened to
love
us.
a
We were
cliffhanger
not
and
supposed to read
ending.
book 2, and we couldn't put it down. We had to keep going.
Yeah.
So we had to add
Yeah.
more books in.
Yeah. So I believe books 1 and 2 follow Johnny and now I want to say Shani and Jonna or something, whatever. It's so tempting. Why is it such a tongue twister? So books 1 and 2 follow Shannon and Johnny, and then I think books 3 and follow. Books 3 and 4 follow Joey and his girlfriend Alfie. So I've heard some people say it's Alfie. Anyway, follows Joey and his girlfriend. So super excited to get into that. With that being said, let's give our review. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Or our star rating. 1, 2, 3. 5
5
stars! Yes!
Yep.
Guys, we need to remember this moment, besties, because this is Sarah's first 5-star on the Besties and Books channel. Yay! I'm so excited that we got there. And I feel
like... it wasn't even for a fantasy, so I don't know if I should be a bit worried about that. Anyway.
I know. I feel like most of the books we're enjoying at the moment are not fantasy. How crazy is that? Anyway, first 5 stars. We are remembering this moment in our September reading wrap up. Next, we read some more dark books, but they were dark on a whole different level. We are talking about... We are talking about Feathers So Vicious and Shadows So Cruel by Liv Zander. Again, we picked Shadows So Vicious in our TBR, but we ended up we had to continue with book 2, and that has wrapped up the duology nice and neatly for us. Mm-hmm. So this follows Melia, Galantia, and Sebian. And so Galantia is sort of, she's of royalty. She has a royal background, but she's not treated like she does. So she's very, I guess, almost abandoned by her family. Her mum has no interest in her. Her father has no interest in her. Even though she's the only child, she has this shame surrounding her existence, I suppose. And so we're not doing any spoilers throughout all of this, but I don't want to reveal too much because it is quite a short duology and I don't want to give too much away. But we also follow the 2 Raven shifters, Melia and Sebian. So think very, very dark romance. I mean, check your triggers. If you have triggers, you need to check them because I'm pretty sure all of them are in here. I don't think it leaves anything out. Like you're talking non-consent, dubious consent, child abuse, so much. Like I everything you could think of. So definitely check your triggers. It's also a why choose romance. So you've got 2 male love interests, 1 female. And yes, it's a dark fantasy romance. So I think that encapsulates the duology.
Did you enjoy
as a whole?
It?
You're going to kill me for saying this. I'm questioning my morals, but I ate up book 1. Like, ate it up. I binged through it so quickly. I hated it, but I loved it. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I really, really enjoyed book 1 especially. Book 2, not as much, but the problem was I read Binding 13 in between, and that was such a good read that I think that spoiled my enjoyment of book 2. Whereas I think if I read them both together, I probably would have given them the same rating. But yeah, anyway. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but I really liked book 1. But in saying that, holy crap, it was dark. It wasn't like, we've talked about this series a lot, the Legacy series by Melissa K. Rorick. It wasn't like that. Don't go into this thinking dark fantasy romance if you've read that series. That's what it's like. It's like dark, but in such a different
it was very different. Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know. It was the most bizarre read that I've ever had. What are your thoughts?
I found it less manipulative than the Legacy series.
Yes.
Like, I think the Legacy one was more a thing with their minds a little bit.
Yes.
Whereas this is like some of the scenes are just straight out rape. But then because she's like, oh, actually, I don't think I mind this. It almost like it almost like makes it, oh, it's okay because she liked it. I don't know. I was like, book 1, I was just equally disgusted and intrigued. So I was the reason why we ended up going into book 2, because I was like, I have to know what was going to happen, which was mainly about, for me, I just wanted this poor female to just, I don't know, like, I would have been happy if she killed them both. Like, I just had so much rage on her, like, on her behalf. Like, I did not enjoy a single romance scene, I don't even know if you can call them romance scenes. Like, I didn't enjoy most of, or any of the banter.
Like the spice?
No, I was just like, I struggled to read it. Yeah, didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't really enjoy much of the banter because it just came across to me as, like, manipulative, or they were grooming her, or just like, but I'm with you. Like, I was intrigued. Like, I read book 1 very quickly. Like, I was engaged while really struggling with everything. And then book 2, so I got straight into book 2. Like, I had to know what happened in the first couple of chapters. I very quickly lost interest in it.
Yeah.
So much so that at one point Ellen had asked me, had I finished book 2? And I was like, yeah, I finished with that. And then I actually went to think about it, and I couldn't remember how it ended. I was like, how did book 2 end? And then I realized I was only 70% through. I just completely and just like, I didn't, by the end of book 2, I didn't care. I wouldn't have cared if everyone died or everyone lived. Like, I was just, I had completely disengaged by then. Like, whatever could happen didn't bother me anymore.
Yeah. Which is so interesting, because normally Sarah and I have very similar reviews, but I think this is the first time we're going to be very different, because I loved the spice. I thought it was sick, but it was like so good. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love the spice scenes. I thought they were so well done. I thought, book 1 sort of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. I don't know. It was really, book 1 was really like, I'm going to say it 1,000 times, super dark. But I loved it. I love the spice. I didn't mind the relationships between them, and I could see why that needed to happen, but I didn't necessarily connect with the characters on an individual level.
Yeah.
In fact, I hated.
Yeah, I didn't warm to any of them.
I guess main male character, Malia.
I almost hated Sabian more than him.
Oh, you reckon? Yeah, he was a weird cat.
I think because Malia, I found Malia was like, you knew what you were going to get. Like, he was just from the get-go not very nice towards her. Whereas Sabian sort of had this like, I'm going to like sidle up to you and be all sort of like helpful and cutesy, but really I'm just going to sit here and like watch him rape you too. So like, it's like you're just, it made my skin crawl, some of the scenes.
Go into this. I would recommend this for someone who loves dark romance and is experienced in dark romance. Don't go into this as a beginner, and loves spice, because this is extremely spicy. I think if you like those two things, you will like this book, because it also has a plot. It's not just all spice, particularly book 1 anyway. And it's a short read. So we should get into our star rating with that being said. Should we do book 1 first?
Yeah, I was going to say mine are quite different, my ratings.
I rated them quite different. Yeah.
Okay.
Book 1. 1, 2, 3.
2.5.
4 stars.
That's our biggest divide, I think.
That is, we've always either been the same or 0.5 off. Okay. Book 2. 1, 2, 3. 3 stars. Wow!
But that was mainly it's because I didn't finish it, and I just didn't even register for a week that I hadn't finished it. So like my care factor had just so far, I just had like, it was just out of mind. So I was like, I kind of, if I'm not going to finish it, and I did end up finishing it, but if I could forget about it, then I can't rate it much more than 1.
Yeah. And also, just to add to Sarah's comments as well, she did start reading this duology, or listening to it via audiobook, and apparently the audiobook is quite cringe from memory.
Yeah, that was, yes, I could.
So
don't
read the audio. Don't listen to the audio. Okay.
All right, next we have From Blood and Ash, which is book 1 in the Blood and Ashes series. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this book, I was so sure this was going to be
You're like, this is going to be a flop.
a disaster.
Like, why are we reading
Yes,
this? Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be a disaster. I almost wondered, oh, am I even going to finish this? Like, I got bored reading the synopsis. Like, young girl secluded away. Well, I was just like, given to the gods, yada, 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 whatever. Like, no, no thanks. Anyway, I did find it a little slow to get into, but I think by probably the 15% mark, I was pretty hooked. So it follows, Poppy is our main lady. She is called the Maiden. She's chosen from birth to fulfill a sacred role. We don't really get much information about this, especially at the beginning of the book, which really frustrated me, but also frustrates Poppy. And because of course she's not allowed to question anything, which means we also don't find out anything. She just has to follow the rules, which she doesn't. She breaks them frequently and is punished for it. We learn she does have a rare gift that allows her to sense and ease other people's pain. And this gift seems to evolve throughout the book. We're not sure why. We're not sure whether others sort of have similar gifts. It seems to be just her so far. The biggest threat around there seem to be these vampire type creatures called Craven that are everywhere, and there's a huge threat out there, and everyone has to sort of stay in place. Hawk, he's one of her personal bodyguards. Towards the second half of the book, secrets just keep coming out. So I loved it. I just once I got into it,
I love this because you were so determined it was going to be a flop.
Yeah, and I really went into it thinking like, oh god, boring. And even probably the synopsis
Going
I'm
back
giving,
to our previous TBR video, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like, even as I'm saying it, it sounds sort of probably boring, I guess. But I love the character Poppy. I love the dynamic between her and Hawk. I loved as she sort of slowly starts like pushing out of her box a bit more. Like the banter was great. I liked the banter. It wasn't a 5-star in my mind, but it was a super enjoyable read, absolutely addictive. The only thing really that annoyed me was the names got me a bit off. Did that annoy you? Like
which names? Like
they talk about places like Pompeii and Macedonia and Atlantia, and I was
so that was really off-putting because it felt real to me.
Yeah, I was like, can you make up a name, not name them after real places? And because I was listening to this on my, I listened to it rather than read it, so I thought, oh, she might have had different spelling. But in my mind, I was imagining like, the lost city of Atlantis and Macedonia and Pompeii. I was like, this is very weird.
I found that off-putting.
But I love the world that they were building, and I love how they were building that up more towards the end of the book. And obviously, it's a series of 3 or 4, maybe. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I think there's 3 or 4 books.
I feel like it's a fairly large series, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually super excited to get into book 2. Even if Ellen doesn't want to read book 2, I will definitely read book 2.
I'll be reading book 2. I'm going to try and squeeze it in towards the end of the month.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
month,
awesome.
If that makes sense. Yeah, super keen. And also point out, is this our first vampire book that is actually enjoyable, by the way?
Oh, maybe.
I feel like it is, because the Craven of Vampire... Well, no, not the Craven of Vampires, but there's a heavy vampire element to this book. And I think this is the first one where it's like vampires are the main focus that we've really enjoyed. But they're not called vampires. They're called something else, but they're basically the same thing. Anyway, totally agree with everything you have said. Also, I love it when the male MMC calls the female main character a violent little thing or violent. I eat it up. I love it every time.
You love that in Fourth Wing. And I was like, I don't like that he calls her violence. That's right.
Yeah. So he doesn't call her violence in this. It's not like a nickname, but he refers to her as being like, oh, you're quite violent, aren't you? Or you're a violent little thing. And like, I love it.
Yeah.
Eat it up. I love it when a male main character loves a fierce, independent woman. So good. So yes, I also love this series. My only critique about this book is I did guess the ending or part of the ending one of the reveals by about the 30 to 40% mark. So that pulled it down just a slight peg for me because I love to be surprised by massive plot twists. It didn't super affect my experience of the book. Like I still really loved it, still really enjoyed it. I guess the ending and that sort of just brings it down a smidge for me. All right, should we do our star rating?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4 stars. Oh, on par. Nice.
Back together.
Damn, it was such a good reading month this month, I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, what have we got next?
I mean, even the feathers one, which I struggled with, like it was still a very entertaining read, even though I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which is much better than being bored.
Yes, it wasn't boring. Feathers So Vicious is not boring at all. All right, so next we have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This was really highly rated on Goodreads. I was excited to go into it. It's essentially a heist in a fantasy world, and it doesn't strictly follow like one main character or two main characters even. It follows a group who is part of essentially a den of thieves within a community, and they try and do a heist, break into this well-renowned prison to break someone out who has created, I guess you could call it a virus that alters the magical abilities of some of the people within this world to a super extreme level that could lead to essentially world domination. But that sort of essentially wraps up the first book without getting too far into it because, again, this is quite a short one, so I'll keep it brief. I really, really struggled with this. I was clawing my eyes out. I had to reread pages multiple times, and still by the 20% mark I had no idea what was going on. I was even messaging my sister and I was like, what does this even mean? Okay, this is one quote. This is absolutely not a spoiler. It's in with like the first 5 pages, I'm pretty sure. This is the sentence. Tell me what this means. Most of the interior taken up by a huge box made of reinforced steel. I wrote steak. Reinforced steel with seams, with thick rivets, a huge window embedded in one of its walls. The glass had a wavy bent, literally had a wavy bent, not a wavy bend, wavy bent, and a girl at the table clutching her red silks tight around her. Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
it was just so convoluted.
It was a bit rough.
It was so confusing. All of the plot twists were like meh to me. I either guessed them or they weren't super surprising. I didn't care for any of the characters. I sort of cared for Kaz a little bit, I think, by the end. But still, I wanted to get to know him more. I feel like we barely scratched the surface of Kaz. I was just starting to sort of enjoy Nina even. But again, we barely scratched the surface. Same as Inedge. It was just very surface level, very difficult to read. The only part I enjoyed about this book were the flashbacks to the past. So throughout the book, some of the main characters flash back into their past and it sort of sets up how they got to where they are today. And those I loved. I loved those moments.
That's a bit depressing if you only enjoyed the past.
I know.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I didn't understand the hype. I thought like the pacing was slow and a struggle.
Yeah.
There was too much inner monologue that didn't really add any value to the story. Like, again, I hate when these books, like, they're all teenagers. They're all 17-year-old kids that talk like they're adults. I don't know why they can't at least be in their early 20s. Then by the time the heist actually part of the book had picked up, I'd already, like, mentally I had checked out.
Yes.
Of the story.
Me too.
So, yeah.
I was this close to DNFing.
Yeah.
I think I only pursued with it because it was such a short book.
But, you know, this felt longer. This felt like the longest book.
It felt like 1,000 pages.
Yeah, this felt like the longest book of any of the books we had this month. If it wasn't probably for the last book that I read in our bunch, like if I had something to go on to, I think I would have like not finished it as well. So sorry, Six of Crows. It's a no from me.
I don't know how it's got like nearly 5 stars on Goodreads.
I did read one comment that someone said if you read, so apparently this author's written other series in the same world, and they were earlier series, so I gather it explains like some of the magic skills that the characters have. If you've read the other series first, you come into this having all that background information, and it makes for a much sort of more informed and presumably better read. Because I struggled with that as well in the first 20%. What's a fabricator? What's a this?
I have so many issues. That being said, let's give our rating.
Yeah.
I actually think even talking about it, I've brought my rating down another star. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One star. Yeah. Sorry. Although, actually, sorry. Maybe I should say 2 stars because I did actually finish it. 1 star isn't like I've DNF'd it. I haven't.
I DNF'd it in my mind.
Somewhere between the 1 and 2 stars. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I actually was for a while there just like sort of on my phone, like skipping through very quickly, just be like, I sort of want to know what happens, but I actually don't really care. That's why for me, I feel like essentially even though I finished it, I didn't really finish it. All right, next up, and the last book we have is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. So this was the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart that we read a few months ago, and it's been on our list to read, to get through books 2 and 3 to finish the series. So we read book 2. I found, similar to book 1, I found this a super enjoyable read. We don't want to give too much away. I still maintain Jax for me is the best character. I really warm to him much more than, so Jax and Evangeline are our 2 main characters. I thought the storyline still, it maintained the whimsical feel from book 1, but maybe it's because it was a sequel. I did feel like some of the like enchantment had worn off. Maybe like the novelty had worn off a little bit.
Yeah.
So we still have sort of,
agreed.
There's a number of like curses that they need to break and quests they need to go on, and Evangeline and Jax are sort of still working through, do they trust each other? Do they not trust each other? They have to rely on each other. Evangeline discovers some magical abilities that she's sort of working through and seeing what that reveals. I think the quests did drag on a little bit, and some of the storytelling fell like a little bit flat just compared to book 1. And I think, and again, I think it's possibly the novelty. Like book 1 was very different and not what I expected, and book 2 continues in sort of the same vein as book 1. So overall, thoroughly enjoyed it. Keen to read book 3, but probably for me it was slightly rated less than book 1.
Totally agree. I thought I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at my notes now, the first 10%, there was a few reveals super early on in book 2, and I was like, wow, we have gone off with a bang. I was so hooked, so addicted. But then after those reveals happened, after the 10% mark, it really lulled for me for quite a while. And then it sort of picked up again towards the end. So for that reason, and I totally agree with you, it has knocked it down a peg. I enjoyed book 1 more overall. But yeah, I can't really reveal too much because it's book 2 in a series. But like you said, love Jax, love Evangeline. I loved the side character. The name has Lala. I think it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really liked Lala's character. I really liked the head of the vampires character as well. Again, Chaos. They've got such great names, very whimsical sounding names. So the side characters are also great in this book, and we get to know the side characters more in this book as well. But yeah, just that there was a good chunk in the middle where it really lulled for me.
Should we do a rating?
Should we give our star rating? 1, 2, 3.
3 stars.
3 stars. But I'm keen to read book 3. Like, that's not a bad 3. I feel like I have good 3 stars and I have bad 3 stars. And that was not a bad 3 stars for me. I'm still keen to read book 3. And I think that'll wrap up is it a trilogy or is it 4
Just
books?
3, yep.
Just 3, yeah. And there's actually a spin-off series called Caraval, which you're actually supposed to read first for the best experience. But I wasn't expecting to enjoy this so much, so I'm not sure if we will go back to Caraval. But I think Caraval is Jack's background.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that one comes first. So how he got to where he is in Once Upon a Broken Heart, and like all his, I guess, trauma in history as to how he got there. That all happens in the Caraval series. All right, well, that is a wrap. 2 5-star reads. We had, I think, a few 4 stars in there. We had a couple 3s, and then we had a couple 2s and 1s. I think we rated literally on every single scale.
Yep.
But it's probably the best, for me, it was one of the best reading ones so far because I had 2 5-stars, I think I had 2 4-stars, and the others were pretty high in the 3s with only the 1-star for me.
Agreed. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you liked what you heard, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and drop us a comment below. Please give us some book recommendations. We can always use more, and it doesn't have to be fantasy or romantasy. We'll take it all.
Yeah, literally. We're loving the non-fantasy at the moment.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.